Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video, and welcome to round 9 of season 2 of our F125 Aston Martin driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at the Circuit Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Spain, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Aston Martin, there's no other way of describing it, they screwed over both myself and Fernando Alonso. That being said though, Fernando, he did run a very, very good race, which hopefully gives us a bit of confidence that maybe our teammate is going to be back fighting towards the front of the order as we get in towards the second half of the season. But yeah, we lost the World Championship lead though to Max Verstappen. We are 5 points back now with Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris both not a million miles away. Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri still with an outside shot at the crown as well. But I mean, we've still got a lot of races to go. It is far too early to be making a call just yet about the Drivers' Championship. Fernando Alonso down still in P12 overall. Constructors-wise, we are just 3 points ahead of Ferrari, but we are still in P3. Williams, though, mighty impressive so far this year. Comfortably ahead of Mercedes in the championship as well. But yeah, Verstappen, still only one race win this year, and apart from Jeddah, has never finished lower than 4th. So consistency has really paid dividends for the Dutchman. He just keeps bringing the points in even when other drivers struggle throughout this campaign so far. I don't really count Monaco inside this series because obviously we tried to make it interesting, but my worst result of P8 and a couple of P5s has really cost us in recent races as well. We need to get back to winning ways throughout these next couple of rounds. In terms of upgrades on the car, as you can see, we're still just ahead of Ferrari, just behind Williams overall when it comes to performance. I have now removed the kind of changed, like almost like in-game mod that they obviously you can apply each season as well, just because it was quite clear that immediately it was allowing the AI teams to do way more upgrades than we were able to, and we've already seen in the My Team career mode that the AI can upgrade faster than you anyway, so I didn't really want to screw myself over in both championships. Make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We are mighty close to 12,000 subs here at the moment. A massive thank you to everybody for the continued support. But yeah, Montreal, this one normally delivers a good race. Hopefully today's going to be the same.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying.
Well, Montreal is one of those really odd tracks inside the F1 games where the AI can be either very, very fast or very, very slow. It is also very much a confidence-based circuit, so we'll wait and see as to how we get on as we head into qualifying this weekend. For some reason, I seem to be getting a load of stutters at F125. It feels like this happens every single time they do a new update to the game. It like stutters for the better part of a week. And then finally fixes itself again. I got no idea why, but as we just try and throw the car through. I mean, this is not ideal to be trying to do qualifying runs with. This is crazy. It feels like the car's almost stopping and then lurching forward over and over. So might have to reset the game before we head into the Grand Prix there. But so far by the end of Sector 2, the lap not feeling too bad. In fact, somehow we've gone purple despite all of that. Get the car slowed down into the hairpin. I don't think many particularly great benchmark lap times have been set so far, but Isaac Hadjar right down the order. Franco Colapinto all the way down in P16 after his first run, so he will need a big improvement by the time he heads back out there then, but trying to spot the braking point through the final couple of corners, get the power down on the run towards the line. It is going to be a 109.7. Despite all that, we still end up going P4. Charles Leclerc temporarily was 1/1000th of a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton in this session, but as everybody heads back out then, I'm sure the times are going to spread out just a little bit. We're only a few thousandths of a second clear of Fernando Alonso so far after the first run, so I'm sure my teammate will be looking for a big improvement here as we get towards the end of qualifying. But if we can just find a few tenths of a second, hopefully we're going to be able to try and get the car right towards the front of the order there. It's nice and tidy through the first couple of turns. Look at that, immediately 4/10ths of a second found, so we can't complain about that one as we try and shut the car through the exit of Sector 1. Half a second up already by the time we get into Sector 2, so that's not been bad. Just keep it planted through the chicane there as we try and get as close to the wall on the exit and then use that DRS off of the turn as well. Purple in Sector 1, that's hardly a surprise. And we found so much time there as, again, really trying to throw the car through Sector 2. We know the rest of the lap, though, was pretty good, so I'll be happy if we're just able to keep up with the delta time that we originally set there. But are we going to see some big AI improvements towards the end? Verstappen, he will rocket up the order. Hamilton, though, up to pole position then on a 109 flat. So that is going to be the big goal then. Can we nail it through the Wall of Champions chicane and maybe put ourselves up on pole position here? We haven't had a pole yet so far this year. Commit the car through the final corner. It is P1. And now I've said it, did I get pole position somewhere else? I think we did back at Imola. Well, there we are. That has got to be one of the laps of my life inside F1 25. Quarter of a second clear of Lewis Hamilton in P2. Half a second clear of Oscar Piastri in P3. Leclerc will be a little bit gutted that he didn't improve right at the end, just ahead of Verstappen and Alexander Albon. Fernando Alonso, he'll be disappointed there because he was right with me until right at the end of the session, but just able to hook up the lap time when nobody else quite could. George Russell will line up 10th, Lando Norris down in P14, Franco Colapinto on the back row of the grid ready for the race today. That has been a disaster for the Argentinian.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history and could be the cause of a safety car today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Alex Albon and Antonelli, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Russell and Pierre Gasly, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri and Norris, Doohan, Lawson, Gabriel Bortoleto and Isaac Hadjar. Colapinto and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And joining me in the commentary box once again, Naomi Schiff. Hi, Gnomes. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What a track this is, and what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the drivers' favourites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the Wall of Champions that catches out so many.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. And of course, yeah, that Wall of Champions chicane, we grazed it in qualifying. We've got to be a lot more careful as we head into the GP. Team believe the one-stop's going to be the way to go this afternoon. Try and take the hards as far as we can. I think that's going to be a pretty safe bet. We learnt in Barcelona. I don't tend to trust the team anymore, but that was the strategy I wanted to go with, so we are going to stick with it then, as everybody around me starting on a set of hards. The 5 red lights are on. Oh, that is such a long hold inside this game. I almost jumped that then as Hamilton immediately going to get the jump on me in towards turn 1. Oh, come on, get the power down. So difficult to try and get temperature into the hards at the start of the Grand Prix there, as I have reset the game and the stuttering seems to be not much better. What on earth have they done to F1 25 at the moment? I completely restarted it. I've restarted my PC and everything else, but yeah, it's just really odd the fact that occasionally you kind of get this inside the game as well there, as well, we've done a fairly good job then off the start to keep it clean and tidy. Verstappen, obviously that is the driver that we need to outscore today. If things were to finish like this, we would be back ahead by just a single point in the World Championship, and I hope that, you know, even though potentially the AI teams can be a little bit OP when it comes to doing upgrades this season, I hope we can remain in the fight. The Aston Martin organisation We are fully committed to try and fight for the crown this year. Haven't quite decided what I'll do if I win, though. We might move teams. We might try and do something else inside this game. I'm not yet entirely convinced there, but as we try and put the power down through the final corner, Hamilton, obviously he's won around here so many times before. Already 2 wins to his name so far this year. Could a third be on the table today? Well, already then, looks like there's a plan in place between Lewis Hamilton and I, and that is just try and run away from everybody else here at the moment. You can see Leclerc already 1.6 seconds back by the time we get to the end of lap 2. So the AI really spreading out nice and early. But yeah, that is quite a surprise, though, that Leclerc is struggling as much as he is. Albon has dropped away from Verstappen as well, so maybe Williams don't have the race pace like they did in qualifying. But I'm happy just to stick with Lewis for a few laps here. I don't actually feel like I'm any quicker than the Red Bull, so I don't really want to cost us both time too early. Oh, we've got yellows, and that might explain why Leclerc was struggling. Safety car on just lap 4 then as Leclerc.
Delta number positive as we fall up. Drop your speed.
And
That's information
low.
risk
Right,
of
serious
low your
car
pace.
issue
It looks like they're retiring.
That is actually quite an assault on the mind when Mark does that inside this game. But safety car deployed then as we just start lap 4 here. So that will explain, yeah, why Charles Leclerc struggled. And with Franco Colapinto right at the back of the pack, Ferrari are in for a bit of a nightmare today. That bodes well for us, because of course they're our main rival in the Constructors. Well, no wonder this was a safety car then in this Grand Prix. I had no idea until I've gone back through and watched the replay there, but Leclerc actually got loose through the final chicane, and Verstappen collected him out of the final corner. That's why we've ended up with the safety car. And I guess, yeah, that's really turned this race around. Interesting then, Hamilton not going to dive into the pit lane. We're also not going to bother peeling in.
Negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
So yeah, I did wonder. Oh, there we go. Verstappen is in though. So big call by the Dutchman then on our main championship rival. He won't be able to get to the end of the Grand Prix, whatever he does, but clearly thinks he can carve his way back through the traffic. I was worried about how many spots we'd lose, especially when, I mean, Hamilton and I are on a one-stop anyway. You wouldn't be able to get to the flag.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap.
Well, a very short safety car there, and I almost got caught out by Lewis Hamilton braking through the final chicane. I will get caught out, though, as we try and get the power down the exit. Luckily, for some reason, the AI don't use their battery until they cross the start-finish line there, so we're going to be all over his gearbox once again. But with Verstappen now down the order and Leclerc out of this, Alex Albon suddenly running up in P3. Esteban Ocon, he's up to 4th in that Haas car then. So could we see Esteban Ocon's second Formula 1 victory inside this career mode? Only time will tell. But again, Hamilton and I, we know the plan at the front. We've just got to try and work together and pull away.
For now, everything's looking good.
I mean, immediately we've got the gap over a second to Alexander Albon. That is fantastic news. Yellow's out a little bit further back again. Another retirement for somebody else, maybe. No idea who that is. Can't see anybody going slowly. There's definitely yellows out somewhere. Is it a Haas car, perhaps, that's slowing down? No, I think... Is that Alonso? Oh, no, I think it's Fernando Alonso. Our teammate out of the Grand Prix yet again, then. So our second retirement of the afternoon. We're only on lap 7. Luckily, this time around, we don't get a safety car. As Hamilton, I mean, his pace is ridiculous here. We're only really able to keep up with him, I think, because of the DRS. And there is the stricken Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso then. So big disappointment for our teammate. We just need to make sure that we get the objective of overtaking Lewis Hamilton at some point in this race. Like I said, I genuinely think he's quicker than me at the moment. So I'm not interested in trying to kind of stay in front of him in this GP. But as long as we can just put alongside, get ahead like that.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
We'll slot back in on the run through turn 1 and turn 2. You can see the gap to Albon now up to 3 seconds in this race. We've only been green flag racing again about 3 laps. Well, as we cross over 1/3 distance then, Lewis Hamilton this season is really odd. He either really struggles in a weekend, you know, qualifies 14th or something, and then can barely score points in this Red Bull, or just looks absolutely unstoppable up at the front of the order. I guess it kind of goes to show that when you can get that Red Bull working, it is a fantastically quick car. And of course, Verstappen is usually the driver that can get that Red Bull working. But, you know, Lewis Hamilton, all of his skill and experience as well, clearly on certain weekends, he's able to absolutely fly along. I mean, he was comfortably quicker than Verstappen in qualifying yesterday. The Dutchman, I really don't think he's made this strategy work so far for himself, because he's probably about a pit stop behind already. But, yeah, I mean, we could potentially try and have a look for a move on Lewis soon. I might have to before we get to the pit window. But at the moment, yeah, he's just helping us pull away from Albon. I think we would still be quicker than the Williams, but by nowhere near as much as we are currently. I mean, looking at the tyre wear, we could probably do this entire race on a single set of the hard compound. I know we had a couple of laps under safety car. I mean, yeah, we're easily going to be able to take these. I think originally the team wanted us to go to the end of 19. They've now said to try and go to the end of 21. I would rather take the hards a little bit further than lean on the mediums too much.
Okay,
hey?
red flag.
Oh, we got a red flag!
Positive.
I think one of the McLarens has spun. No idea what's happened. We're going to replay up on the screens, but apparently I got an illegal overtake as well on Hamilton, despite being under autopilot. But drama so far then here in Montreal. As, I mean,
This is a good chance to change our strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to.
If Verstappen went from hards to mediums during that pit stop, if he's got another set of hard compound tyres, that red flag might just win him this Grand Prix today. But the team don't think we can do one single set of tyres to the end. And honestly, I'm inclined to believe them at the moment. We'll start on the mediums, see how far we can take them. But this, yeah, really does bring a lot of spice into the Grand Prix. 5 red lights are on again. It's going to be lights out, and away we go there as Hamilton. He's opted for another set of hard compound tyres, but look at that Alex Albon trying to look down or inside in towards turn 1. We'll send it into the corner there and get the car slowed down nice and tidy. But at least we know then that Hamilton is definitely pitting again before the end of the Grand Prix. It's drivers like Ocon that have really won out in all of this, because of course he now can take a set of hard tyres to the end of the afternoon. So could Esteban Ocon legitimately be on for his second win of this career mode so far? We'll have to wait and see. We've still got more than half a race to go. Feels like a lot has happened already so far during this afternoon's Grand Prix. But still a lot more needs to be decided. Well, I think we can no longer afford to just play games with Lewis Hamilton here, try and work together. I think we've got to be the one that starts forcing the issue. Because again, you know, we can absolutely wring the neck out of both sets of mediums. If we take a look at the wear by the end of this lap, we're definitely not going to be able to get them to the end of the Grand Prix. But here we go then, a move to the inside of Hamilton. And into the lead we go of this Grand Prix. Alex Albon able to keep up with us a little bit better, so has George Russell. But Lando Norris now running up in P5, sorry. After a pretty terrible weekend so far, could this red flag have completely carried his Grand Prix? He's got the move done on Ocon, who effectively was our net leader. Look at that then, already by the time we get down towards the hairpin. Albon now trying to make the move on Lewis Hamilton then, and those two are going to immediately start tripping each other over here. So this works out wonders for us as Russell just sat watching everything going on as well. We've got a 5-second gap ahead of Lando Norris. I guess luckily for us, the pit lane here, one of the quickest in terms of time loss on the F1 calendar as well. But almost another new fastest lap of the day. I'll feel okay if we can get the gap to Norris up to close to 10 seconds by the time we pit. If we can do that, there might be a chance. I'm also getting a little bit nervous because there's some overcast clouds around the circuit. Could it rain before the end of this race? Well, the other thing I hadn't considered is maybe Lando Norris also started on the hard compounded tyre. I don't know. I think he qualified a little bit further down or had grid penalties, didn't he? So I've genuinely got no idea what strategy Norris is on at the moment. I don't want to leave it to chance, though, just in case he is able to extend the stint towards the end of the afternoon. But yeah, really incident-packed race so far in the first half. Often is the case, though, here in Montreal. But we are just trying to stretch our advantage at the front. We know Hamilton's got a pit, and that gap up to 2.5 seconds. Oh, we've got more yellows. We've got more yellows. Alex Albon now's gone round. I don't know if he's just span or what's happened to the Thai driver, but a safety car now, that would work quite nicely for us. I think he's just about got going again. No, another safety car. What is this race, man?
Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Okay, we're more or less into the pit window now. If you want fresh rubber during the safety car, we're ready for you.
Well, this race just keeps getting crazier and crazier at the moment, but that works out fantastically for us. A golden opportunity to peel into the pit lane and bolt on a fresh set of the medium tyre to see us through to the end of the Grand Prix. And Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, they will be gutted with that. So I guess if Lando pits, it's going to be great confirmation as to what tyres he was on. Hamilton, of course, definitely diving in. George Russell definitely diving in as well. Norris. So Norris, yeah, had started on mediums then. So had Ocon, of course, we knew that one.
Faster than we were expecting.
I mean, Oscar Piastri, he was the one that span earlier on. Effectively now he's up into the podium places. That spin might have saved his race here, as it's basically just McLaren and Haas that have made the strategy gamble work. But either way, we are now in P4 on much fresher tyres than the three in front of us, and with a little bit of breathing room to Lewis Hamilton behind. Well, another very, very short safety car then in this Grand Prix. I was going to be very interested, though, whether we could have closed back in on Lando Norris by the end of the GP, because I think it could have been tight by the end of the GP. I guess we'll never know now, though, as Norris leading the way just ahead of Esteban Ocon and Oscar Piastri. Are we about to go green flag racing? And through the final chicane, Norris has actually done a very, very good job off of that restart. But we need to immediately try and use the tyre grip to our advantage. Problem is, Oscar Piastri's not going yet. Come on, man. Down the inside, we'll go immediately then at turn 1. But, yeah, very, very odd that the AI just do not use their energy until you get back over the start-finish line there. But all of these guys on old tyres are fresh mediums. Surely they're going to be no match for there, as immediately diving down the inside of Esteban Ocon. And back up into P2 we go. Lando Norris trying to build up a little bit of a margin, but it might be a pretty futile exercise. Okay, not quite sure how I'm going to do that, Mark. We've just only got extra fuel because of the amount of safety cars we've seen today. But Hamilton making good progress there. Esteban Ocon has now been jumped by Oscar Piastri, and I think the Red Bull is likely going to go past him as well, which he will do. So Hamilton still trying to recover his way back through the order. He's definitely been a bit unlucky when it's come to strategy as well today, but can we try and get a run on Lando Norris? I mean, we're practically pushing him off the exit of the hairpin. Surely now this is going to be a done deal as we look to the outside of the McLaren man, down in towards the World Champion chicane against our reigning world champion. Around the outside we will go, and up into P1 then. 9 laps remaining of this Canadian Grand Prix. Another new fastest lap will come in as well. Come on, let's just try and get that gap up over 1 second over Lando Norris and just bring this home to the flag. Hamilton then back up into the podium places here. Can he close in a 3-second gap to Lando Norris by the end of the GP? Either one of them, that's going to be big, important points they need for their World Championship hopes, especially when Verstappen and Leclerc are way down the order. But for us, though, at the moment, as long as they don't do anything stupid, things looking pretty good. Oh, there you go, Hamilton. Hamilton is pushing on towards the end and reminding everybody that he has probably been the fastest man in this Grand Prix today. Fastest lap for him. The gap to Lando down to just 2 seconds there. He's pulled away comfortably from Ocon and Piastri as well. I mean, Haas, they could be on for a huge payday here. Even P5 and P6, I'm sure, will feel like a win for them this afternoon. But Lando Norris, will he be able to hang on? 5 laps remaining after this one. And what's going on with the weather as well?
No rain expected for the time being. Dry's definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
There we go. Teams still don't believe we're going to see rain, which, I mean, is a very good thing. I'm not going to complain about that. But, yeah, it's looking very overcast. Oh, there we go. Hamilton right on the back of Lando Norris now, with just 3 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. The McLaren, I mean, he's been very, very lucky with how things have gone. Antonelli now has broken down in this race. So another one gone late on in the day then. And what's that? Our 3rd DNF of the afternoon, isn't it? And, well, Charles Leclerc, Kimi Antonelli, and Fernando Alonso. 3 fairly high-profile drivers and teams so far this year then. But the Italian, he will be devastated to have made it this close to home and is not going to walk away with anything. Surely Hamilton now, though, is about to line up a move on Lando Norris. You know, he's got to be able to try and get by him. But, of course, our medium tyres, not feeling bad, but they're certainly not feeling fantastic towards the end of the stint as well. I think we could have been quite close, stretching them if I needed to. A little bit earlier on in the GP there, as I've really been struggling with rear locking down at the hairpin. But there is Kimi Antonelli's stricken Mercedes car. Second Mercedes power unit failure of the afternoon. They'll be left wondering what on earth's gone wrong once again then. But surely now is Hamilton's chance to try and get a run on Lando Norris. But he just can't quite get there. Is Hamilton really beginning to struggle towards the end of this race? Just one more lap to go then here in Montreal. And for us today, I mean, often I say F125 giveth and F125 taketh away. It feels like it's done it about 4 times in this one Grand Prix, where it was just helping some drivers and screwing over others. But by the end of it all, with one more lap to go, we are looking pretty comfortable out in front at the moment. Lewis Hamilton, for whatever reason, cannot find a way around Lando Norris late on here. So it looks like the McLaren man might just be able to hang on for P2. Maybe it's Hamilton's tyres in that Red Bull. Maybe it's something else going on. But either way, for us though, in terms of the World Championship picture, things looking fantastic here. Max Verstappen, he's only going to walk away, I believe, at about P8 of this race. So yeah, real disappointment for him. That early strategy call really has just left him mired in the midfield right the way throughout the majority of the afternoon. But as we try and dance our way through the final few chicanes around this venue, Montreal, it so often delivers great Formula 1 races, and it looks like this season is going to be no different. Will Hamilton be able to line up a move in towards the final chicane on the final lap? 2 world champions battling behind me, but hopefully we are making our claim to hopefully join them by the end of the season. 4 wins from the first 9 Grand Prix, finally proving we are back and fighting at our best there through the final couple of corners here in Montreal. It is going to be P1 in Canada, doing what Lance Stroll couldn't at his home race.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada.
Incredible victory today, and this really keeps their hopes in the driver's title away, and you can just see how much of a celebration is going on down there. It proves what it means to them.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix, and there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step.
Well, there we are then. Pole position, race victory. Didn't quite claim fastest lap. That one will go to Lewis Hamilton there. But we cannot complain with how the Grand Prix turned out in the end. Lando Norris, though, from 14th on the grid, will recover to P2. Oscar Piastri from 13th on the grid will end up in P4 there. And Ollie Behrman from the back of the field ended up in P8. Plenty of big moves up and down the order today, but myself and Pierre Gasly, the only 2 drivers inside your top 10 that started and finished exactly in the same positions. Gutted that Gabriel Bortoleto unable to score, just ahead of his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, and what a disappointing day for Franco Colapinto, all the way down in P14. Under there, Kimi Antonelli, Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc all out. Alex Albon with his own separate incident as well means he will finish in last place there come the end of the afternoon. So yeah, big disappointment for a lot of drivers from a lot of big teams in this championship. What does it do, though, to our championship standings? It means we've now got a 14-point buffer again at the top of the table ahead of Verstappen, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Oscar Piastri are still not a million miles away, though, so we could be in for one hell of a championship fight this year. Constructors-wise, though, we pull away from Ferrari quite handsomely there as well, so very, very happy that we've got a little bit of a buffer once again. Williams now up over the 100-point barrier, but it could have been so much more had Albon been able to walk away with a big result. Red Bull, though, 15 clear on McLaren, still at the top of the table, and Kick Sauber so close to bagging their first points of the year as well. It's always nice when every team scores inside this game. Thank you all so much for watching, though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon ready for, I believe, the reverse Austrian Grand Prix.